Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another weekly fighting roundup. And in today's video, of course, got the boxing and MMA news. So if you're new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like video if you do need, like video, and let's get straight into it. So going into this fight, starting off, with boxing news. Bateson, Ali, McNamara, Akaba, Nadeem, Fury will fight September 27th. Beluta has joined Vote Boxing. Hurd will fight Rosario August 23rd. Davis is set to fight Stevenson November 23rd. I mean, there was a little bit of a back and forth between Stevenson and Lomachenko this week at the Crawford event, so possibly we might see that, but I don't really know. I doubt it. I feel like the Davis fight makes more sense, and Lomachenko has obviously said that he doesn't want to fight at the moment, so yeah, it makes sense. Sorry if I sound a bit rough, I am ill, but I'm still, here making the videos because I enjoy doing it. Wallace will fight Pampeon August 28th, Gonzalez versus Perez, and Dickens versus Manchetto will fight September 6th. DiBella has started talks for a women's bantamweight boxing tournament, which, to be fair, I'll be here for. There'll be some big women's names in it, and the likes of Nina Hughes and Dina Vorsand, but at the same time there'll be other names in it as well, which haven't fought at a high level and are wanting to have that opportunity, and I think it'll be the first of the women's kind, I believe, so that could be something different and something I'd be here for. Moving on, Cattrall versus Prograis has been postponed and is set now for October. I believe it just got announced just earlier today, so I think it's October 25th, so sad to see it get postponed, but nice to see it get a date put on real quick. Ahmed will fight August 17th, Munguia will fight Bazinian September 20th. I think that is an excellent fight, and Munguia is really, I think, wanting to come a bounce back, and with signing with Top Rank, I think it makes a big statement and things like that, and Bazinian is waiting for a tough test, and I believe this will be it. It'll be a good fight, and I've been calling for Bazinian to be having big fights for a while, so yeah, like I say, it'll be a nice big fight. Garcia has said he's fighting Pacquiao at an exhibition at the end of the year. It's a bit messy, to be completely honest. I mean, why is Garcia even allowed to fight? Obviously it'd be over in Japan, so the rules would be a bit different, but this is a fight that nobody, I believe, really cares to see. I think perhaps it could be interesting, but it's not really a relevant fight for boxing, really, and I suppose at the moment Garcia isn't going to be able to fight any relevant fights, so maybe credit to him to being able to take this opportunity, but we'll see if it actually ends up happening or not, because I doubt it will. Moving on, Dixon will fight Harper September 28th. KSI versus Taylor and Slim is off. KSI had to pull out due to injury. That's why he blamed it on the whole, why has his energy been a bit off, why has he been a bit down, why has he not been hyping up the fight as much as he normally does. This will be why, and do I want the fight to still happen? I don't really care for it to be a 2v1, to be honest, and it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see KSI versus Taylor and Sim, to be honest, ever. I just don't know if it will get rescheduled or not. Herrera won by majority decision versus Taylor. Landon won by unanimous decision versus Taylor. Piroton won by unanimous decision versus Coulter. Williams won by split decision versus Tapia. Navarro won by unanimous decision versus Booth. Moreno won by unanimous decision versus Williams. Sriracha won by split decision versus Palmetta. Lugo won by a TKO in round 2 versus Corona. Giasov won by split decision versus Paro. Castro won by a technical decision versus Acosta to remain WBC Continental American Super Featherweight Champion. And in general, I mean, it was nice. It was an interesting concept having 3 fights on like an undercard to the undercard for the Crawford event, and put on a show in LA on the pier, and it's a cool concept, and I'm glad that Giasov managed to get the win, because he really deserved that. Like with the body shot that, well, it was a body shot, but I believe got a point deducted for it. If he'd have not got the win for that, then that would have been really sad to see. So in general, like I say, nice concept. Be interesting to see if they do it again with the AJ Dubois card. I won't be against that at all, but we'll have to wait and see. Moving on. Fuentes has joined Golden Boy. Hardy will fight September 27th. EBU have ordered Collins versus Lorente. Dolegala won via technical decision versus Zoe. Denise won via points versus Gradia. Kadua won via points versus Mosquera. Silva won via TK round 2 versus Arrowsmith. Coyle won via points versus Lomoti. McKenna won via TK in round 3 versus Laws to become WC International Silver Super Welterweight Champion. Dubois won via unanimous decision versus Monio to become IBO and WBC Interim World Lightweight Champion. Simpson won via unanimous decision versus Celli to become British and Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion, and I had the privilege to be at this event, and it was a really good event, and some standout talent on the undercard, including that of Mario Silva, in which I was really impressed with his performance and his stoppage, and he's branded himself as the future of Manchester boxing, so we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if he can progress up the ranks really nicely, but at the moment he's building his name really well. And then also McKenna versus Laws was a mental fight, to say the least. I know I'm really not bringing the energy right now, but it was a mental fight, and to see it live was such a privilege. And there's very few fights that you see like that where two fighters are just going for it. I think McKenna could have made it a lot easier for himself, but got drawn into a fight with Laws, and Laws was straight onto the front foot straight away, so it's difficult to be able to stick to your boxing when somebody is on the front foot straight away. I'm not too sure how much his stocks rose, McKenna, from that fight, because, I mean, like I say, he got caught a lot, he got dropped, and it wasn't like, it was a high tempo, it was a nice stoppage, but I don't necessarily know how much that's going to raise his profile against somebody like a Joe Laws, who isn't seen as the most technically gifted boxer. But at the same time, I think Laws' profile has grown because that was entertainment value, and I'm sure big promoters are going to want to bring him back just for that entertainment value alone. And so it'll be interesting to see who he goes into fight next. Dubois, though, she put out an excellent performance versus Monio. Got my prediction right. I believe I said unanimous decision. I thought Monio would be tough, but at the same time, I thought Dubois would be able to do what she does most of the time and fight as well as what she does and be able to win comfortably, and the knockdown was nice as well. Yes, again, showing from her that she can't quite get finishes at the moment, but I'm sure that will come, and she's progressing really nicely now. Like I was mentioning in my prediction, will we see her go and fight like a big level fighter after this? I doubt it, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see. And like I say, she's progressing really nicely at the moment. And the Simpson-Celli fight was an awkward fight. Simpson had to really kind of rug it out with Celli, and Celli, with his awkward style, is going to always be tough in against, and he did well to manage the pressure of the home crowd that he's not used to, the main event pressure, Simpson, and he's called out Mark Jeffers now, which I think would be a really entertaining fight, and I think I would like to see him, how far he can progress through the British rankings, Commonwealth. I do think there is definitely things he has to improve on, but I think he showed a level of skill in there which was clearly superior to that of Celli's. And moving on, McLaughlin won by points versus Shaw, Furlong won by points versus Siev, O'Neill won by points versus Pollard, Arthur won by points versus Romero, Blanc won by points versus Lopez, Allen won by points versus Gomez, Boyd won by points versus Granum, Moran won by TK round 1 versus O'Neill, Agyarko won by points versus Karami, Brown won by TK round 2 versus Quinn, Mimoun won via TKO in round 5 versus McKenna, and just wanted to congratulate Dean Furlong, Aston Brown, and Keeman Ajako. All great performances. The Keeman Ajako one clearly meant a lot to him, and to see him getting all emotional and everything was upsetting, and it shows that boxing isn't always just a lovely sport to be in. And yeah, it was interesting, but at the same time shows he is just human at the end of the day. Moving on, Alma Youth Drew versus Bulik. Nelson won by KO in round 5 versus Rodriguez. Cruz won by KO in round 2 versus Moran to remain IBF International Lightweight Champion. Bacoli won by KO in round 5 versus Anderson to become North American Boxing Federation and WBO International Heavyweight Champion. Ruiz drew versus Miller. Morel won by unanimous decision versus Kolasdik to become WBA World Light Heavyweight Champion. Valenzuela won by split decision versus Cruz to become WBA World Super Lightweight Champion. Crawford won by unanimous decision versus Madrimov to become WBA and WBO Interim World Super Welterweight Champion. And in general, when there are a Riyadh season card and this is as stacked as they are, it's rare to see there be loads of other boxing events going around because all the promoters are working as one at the moment, and that's really nice to see. Put on a quality event. And to speak about some of the fights, Nelson winning by a KO in jorts was just an entertaining thing, to be honest, and I suppose as Crawford's sparring partner he would have experience, and he would be able to fight at a high level, and he could be able to win against some decent fighters if he's continuing fighting on Crawford undercards. Cruz, a interesting performance against Moran. It was one where he showed his skills, which he always does, but at the same time it seemed like he got hurt, and it seemed like it wasn't as comfortable as what he's used to. And against the Mexican, that was what I kind of wanted to be the case, and he's had to show some heart, and he did well. Nice stoppage in the end. And do I think he's ready for a world title yet? No. Do I think he might be in the next 3-4 fights if he keeps progressing the way he's going? Maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, he's really getting put on a big pedestal at the moment, and I suppose he's used to that now. He's thriving in front of that now. Bacoli, that performance versus Anderson was probably one of the standout performances, if not the standout performance of the night, to be completely honest. Bacoli looked amazing. Anderson just wasn't used to, I suppose, not having his own way. Was coming into aggressive. Bacoli didn't really have the best of movement, but was able to stomach a lot of the shots and respond back with powerful counters. And in the end, it was an excellent stoppage, and that's one of Top Rank's biggest names in Jared Anderson, and heavyweight-wise especially. Now Bacoli has beaten him. Maybe he can get built back up. He's still only young, but we'll have to wait and see. That's derailed the hype, I suppose, and I got my prediction wrong for that one. Bacoli now pretty much just been thrown into the mix, and the likes of Azali Zhang and other big fighters like that could be an option, and we'll have to wait and see. But with Sky Sports and Boxer and the backing he's got, everybody doubted him, but now he's really delivering. So, like I say, fair play, stand-up performance. Ruiz versus Miller was an interesting fight. I got my prediction wrong. Obviously, I didn't say a draw. I thought Ruiz would win. It was a close fight, and Miller came on stronger in the later rounds. I think he did look possibly a little bit better in the later rounds, but it wasn't the most active of fights between the two of them. Miller just doing really well, I suppose, to be able to just get in range, in which he always does. Use his size, which he always does, and in general, it was an interesting fight. I don't think Ruiz is ever going to be able to get back to the top level again. I don't think Miller wants to fight Ruiz again, so it would be a crazy story if Miller's just gotten himself back in the mix just from that draw, saying all he's been through in his career and, all the difficulties he's had to face. And Morel was a good performance versus Kolasdik. I think it wasn't going to be as dominant in what everybody thought. I think I said it would be a stoppage, to be fair, but obviously it wasn't. People comparing it to that of the Benavidez performance when Benavidez moved up in weight. You can compare them, but at the same time, Morel possibly hurt Kolasdik a little bit more and did look good, but just in the later round seemed to fade a little bit. I don't know necessarily if this is his best weight or not, but it'll be interesting. I think both Benavidez and Morel have to settle into the new division of theirs, and so yeah, we'll have to give them time. I think. I don't think you can judge them straight away. And Valenzuela, excellent performance against Cruz. I think I would love to see a rematch, but I think Valenzuela defended really well and caught a lot of the shots, moved really well. The head movement was amazing, and in general just circled around the ring really well. And it was a great performance. I think he stuck to his boxing well, but Cruz, always going to be difficult, always going to be in your face, and was going to be an interesting test for Valenzuela. But Valenzuela defied the odds and managed to get the win. And like I say, I wouldn't be against seeing a rematch. I think it could be worth one, but if not, then he's become a champion in one of the biggest and best divisions at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see if he can keep doing what he's doing, and with that style, maybe he can go as he gets some more big wins. Moving on to, of course, the Crawford one. People questioning Crawford's ability, which I don't think you can ever really do, to be honest. At any point in his career, I don't think you can question his ability because of how much he has achieved, and I think Madrimov was always going to be a tough test, and I got my prediction right. Valenzuela, I got my prediction wrong, but yeah, he was always going to be a tough test as an Olympian. He was always going to be tricky, and he moves awkwardly, and did really well, to be fair to Madrimov, but it's one of them fights in which we won't see a rematch, I'd really doubt, and I suppose unless Madrimov can get back to a high level, which I think he definitely can, but it's just one of them things where it seems like every fighter, when they're being talked about having a big fight, they have a bit of a lesser fight beforehand, which de-hypes it, I suppose, a little. And yeah, so moving on now to the MMA news. Curtis vs Holland, Esparza vs Pennington, Aldo vs Bautista, and Harrison vs Vieira will fight October 5th. Topura vs Holloway, Whitaker vs Chimaev, Garn vs Volkov 2, and Ankalaev vs Rakic, Murphy vs Ige, and Neil vs Dos Anjos will fight October 26th. That is looking like a really stacked card, to be completely honest, and I'm really here for it. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how Garn's been since obviously the big defeat, and Volkov's doing really well at the moment, and Ankalaev Rakic is an interesting fight. I didn't really expect to see that. I don't necessarily know if it's probably just a keep active fight for Ankalaev, but Rakic don't really deserve that opportunity, I don't think. And obviously Topura Holloway is going to be an excellent fight as well, and entertaining, I'm sure. Moving on, Pantoja will fight Royval will fight Tara October 12th. Dumas won via decision versus Tululim. Herbert won via decision versus Bedoya. Hughes won via decision versus Dudakova. Kutaledze won by decision versus Vesenik. Gaziev won by decision versus Mayers. Fernandez won by KO round 1 versus Yaya. Mirka Zakhanov won via KO round 2 versus Menefield. Alvarez won by KO round 3 versus Brenner. Dern won by decision versus Godinez. Chiesa won by submission round 1 versus Ferguson. Figueiredo won by decision versus Vera. Magomedov won by decision versus Oleksiejczuk. Magomedov won by decision versus Sandhagen, and Font will fight Phillips October 19th. And just to quickly speak about, obviously Tony Ferguson lost again. Shock. Will he retire? Probably not. It didn't seem like it. Shock. But at the same time, who could he fight? Nick Diaz maybe, but other than that, does anybody really care for another fight for him? And then Figueiredo, I said that he'd win versus Vera. Good performance from him. I think he was just quicker, faster. He seemed like he's moved up really well in weight and just looks quite strong as well, to be fair. And Magomedov, a very nice striking performance as well, typical from what we've seen from him. The Magomedov as well, decision victory. I think Sandhagen defended really well. Scrambled really well, like I said in my prediction, but at the same time, the Magomedov was just being too aggressive, and Sandhagen defended really well, but he didn't offer enough attacking wise to be able to deal with the Magomedov still. So yeah, really good performance from the Magomedov, and really put himself in the mix now as well. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Sorry again for me just dying But yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoy. Like if you like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.